We are going to discuss some basic security in these visuals. We have attempted some basic initial configurations on router, and after that I showed you some initial installation, some actually installation of iOS images and backing up of such iOS images and saving configuration to your PC, and also backing up the configuration for your routers. And we attempt such configurations except initial configurations installation in switch also. But we have seen that while doing such labs, we were just totally in control. Things were very in control. I was going to console mode, and after that I am going to user exec mode, and after that when I go to entering enable, I was going to privileged mode, I was going to global configuration mode. In all these modes it was kind of insecure. I did not get the message of enter the password. It is not good. So now we are going to attempt some basic security where we will configure such passwords, and while we are doing our labs, we always asked about the passwords, so that it will be the router will recognize that the person is concerned person, not kind of unknown person and things like that. So let's go to our router and perform such tasks. Okay, now I am on my terminal emulator operating my router. Well, I am operating my router, getting access to router using console port. Now I'm pressing enter. No password is asked. Okay, now let me go to privileged exec mode, enable. Again, no password is asked. So this is kind of very insecure. So first of all, I am going to configure password for my console line. So by using line space, use question mark. So these are, you can see the options. We have discussed auxiliary mode while discussing our previous visuals to get access the router. One is the console port, you use console port for accessing, and the mostly used is virtual terminal. So first of all, this one, virtual terminal. So first I am going to select console port. After that I have to mention 0. It has only single connectivity, so 0 is kind of 1 under the iOS. So by entering line console 0 for my single only console connection, I am on my console line. Now I am on console line. Well, by using this password command, password space and enter password whatever you want. So I am selecting the password. I am not going to tell you that password. You can see here it is visual. So enter your password here. After that you are on your console line, you entered the password visual, and after that you have to tell the router where to ask the password for login. So enter your login. Now this password is configured for your console connectivity while you're logging in. So this is done. Just exit. You're out of your line configuration of console. Press exit. Copy the such configurations to your startup configure. Okay. Copy running configuration to your startup configurations. It is saving your running configuration to startup configuration. Now whenever you are going to accessing the router using console port, you have to enter that password. Like it was no password before, but I configured password for my console line, and now I have to enter the password. That was what, you know the password because you're watching my visuals right now, and no one knows the password except you. Okay, so this is how you configure your console line passwords. So let me get in global configuration mode and let's check another line connectivity. It was console. We have gone through console 1. Let's see auxiliary. Well, I am not using auxiliary mode throughout this series, but let me tell you how you configure your auxiliary mode password. Simple process. Auxiliary line auxiliary 0. It has also one connectivity of auxiliary. Enter now password. Enter your password, whatever you want. I'm using this password. Enter for login purposes. So this is done. You have done your configuration on for line auxiliary lines. Now there's another one. It is line VTY. So it has numbers from 0 to 4. Enter. Now I am configuring line VTY so that the connecting devices can access my router using these virtual terminals. Before configuring this line, this router has not configured this VTY password. Let me get out of it. So let's go to my switch from where I am trying to access my router, which is connected through Ethernet port of my router. So let's try to access this router to my router through VTY port. So let's check will it work without setting the password or not. Well, before going to my switch, let me show you this scenario. My router is connected to my PC through serial interface by using console cable, and my router is connected to my switch through its Ethernet port and switch fast Ethernet port. So these IP addresses are configured on these both interfaces. So I'm going to my switch, and from my switch I am trying to accessing the router using virtual terminal. So what I'm going to do, the command is simple, telnet IP address. You can also use the IP address, but just entering the IP address, press enter, or you can also use the host names. Well, we will discuss how to telnet using host names in our upcoming visuals, but now I'm just telling you the process of telnetting. So this is the whole scenario. Now I am on my switch, and from there I'm going to access the router through virtual lines. Okay, now I am on my switch. Let's try telnetting my router. The IP address was 10.10.10.1. Press enter. So now my switch is saying that the connecting device has not configured the password for its virtual line. So this is the reason password is required for accessing the connecting device. So this is the reason why this connectivity cannot be established. So let's go to my router and configure VTY password there. So let's go to router's virtual lines for setting password. Again, same command, line VTY 0, and it has up to 4, means 5 lines, so 5 connections. Line VTY from 0 to 4 for all 5 connections. We are under there. The password will be again same visual and for login purposes while logging. Okay, things are clear. Let me save such configuration from running config to startup config. Okay, now I'm going to my switch. From there I'm going to telnet my router so that I can assure that VTY is configured or not. So let me go there to my switch. Okay, now I'm on my switch. Just enter your IP address of the router. My router's IP address, as I showed you in my scenario, it is 10.10.10.1. Press enter. Now here it is. We are getting access to that router through these VTY lines. Okay, now just enter the password. I know you know the password. Now here we are back under router. enable password. That's it. Now we have configured console passwords, we have configured VTY passwords, auxiliary passwords. Now there is another password which is used to configure. It is enable secret password. So let me get to there, configure your terminal. So it is enable secret and password you want to use. I'm using visual password. So okay, now it is configured, enable secret visual. Well, this enable secret password is enable secret password protects your privileged and global configuration mode. Well, okay, there is another password which is used if enable secret is not configured. Protects same modes, privileged mode and configuration modes. This password is configured through this enable password and password. Well, it is saying that please do, change the password. It should not be same. Your secret, enable secret and enable password should not be same. The enable password you have chosen is the same as your enable secret. So this is not recommended. Re-enter the enable password. So I'm going to enter this password. It is configured. Now everything is configured. As far as security is concerned, my console port is protected, my auxiliary mode is protected, my VTY lines from 0 to 4, all 5 lines are protected of this router, and further my user exact modes and things like that, privileged mode, configuration modes, all these modes are protected. Now let me save these configurations. Copy from running config to startup config. Okay, now it is saving and saving. Okay, now it is saved. Let me log out. I'm back to switch because I'm operating my router by using virtual lines. So let's use my console ports, let's operate my router through console port again and check that all such things are covered, all such things, exact mode, console mode and things like that are protected or not. So let me get to the console port of my router. Okay, I am on my router's console port. Press enter. Now password is asked. Good thing. Okay, now I am under user exact mode. Press enable. Again password is asked. So it is the magic of enable secret if configured. If not, if enable password is configured, so it is the magic of such commands. Press enter your password and here you are. So such things are protected and we have almost done our protection. So let's go to my switch and configure same passwords there so that my switch will be will be secure enough from unknown access. Okay, now I am on my switch. So by entering global configuration mode, go to your line console 0, password whatever you want, same password I'll use, password visual, and for login. Okay, my line console is secured. So let me check lines here. It has console and VTY only. My switch does not has this auxiliary mode. So by going to VTY modes, it supports more connection. Such kind of situation, such kind of features are based on your iOS versions. So it is more advanced one. So by going to line VTY from 0 to 15, password is these lines are protected using password and for login. Okay, now all things are covered. Again, you can configuring your enable secret also available here. Enable secret visual again. So the enable secret you have chosen is the same as your enable password. So actually I have configured password enable password here. So this time the password is configured, I'm changing the password and it is configured. For enable password, same is the case, enable password and visual you have done. So you have configured your enable secret, which will protect your privileged and global configurations. If enable password is configured, even then enable secret will secure such access. But if your enable secret is not, but your enable password will work if enable secret is not configured. So we have almost done, but there is another command I'll show you. Just close this down. Things show running configurations. Okay, for running configurations, you can see here your enable secret is secured, it is encrypted, but your enable password is not encrypted. Okay, you can check your interfaces also. Further, you can see your line console password is also showing. This is not good. Your VTI password is also showing from 0 to 4, even from all. For your all lines, the password is same. Actually, but it is showing. It is showing the password. What is the case? Why the password is showing? Let me show you a thing here in the running configuration which is not configured. This is the reason why you accept your secret, enable secret, all the password is showing. This service is password, no service password is encryption, because it is disabled. So this is the reason all such passwords are showing, but this one is protected. This your enable secret password. So let me go there and configure such service. Configuration, we are terminal service password dash encryption. Now it is enabled. Let me save the configurations here. Running configuration, startup config. Okay, and let's see the running configurations again. Okay, this time you can see here the password service in the password encryption services are enabled, and this time you can see your enable password is secured. Secret was secured before, and by seeing your all such passwords are secured. So it is also important to enable such services. I think in latest iOS version, I think yes, such services are enabled. So it must be enabled also. For example, if unknown person get the access of your router, so first time he or she going to see such passwords for maybe secure his or her connectivity for future use. So we should be aware of such things. We should secure our basic we should secure our basic things, basic access. Okay, now we have almost done, but there is another way to configure initial configurations, and including such configurations, your setting passwords, the way which I did not discuss with you. The way when you very first time boot up your router, it gives you the option of you wanna configure your basic configuration, initial configuration, yes or no. So the final step I'm going towards that thing. So we should be aware of such things also. Okay, I am on my router now. I am going to erase my startup configuration, and after erasing this configuration, my router will be almost kind of new or things like that. So after erasing such configuration, I'm going to restart my router. Okay, almost done. Just I'm reloading the router, and I'm going to show you that initial setup configuration process which is offered by the router. Yes, I want. Okay, let's restart the router. Let it completes it. It's starting again. I'll join you. Okay, now I restarted my router. Actually, I restarted my router 2 times because when it asked to save the modified configuration, I clicked yes. Sorry, that time I did not read that sentence completely. because we have to press enter no, so that the configuration which I made there, I made erase startup configurations, should not be saved. Okay, now after clicking no there, I reload my router. Now restarted my router. The whole process of restarting the router, boot up process is same. Now you can see it has no configurations, so it is asking me that would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog. I did not show such dialog you before. This is the first time showing you this such dialog. But although we are aware of initial configurations right now, but this is another way to configure your router initially. So press yes here. I'm going to enter all such things. Would you like to enter basic management setup? Yes, I want to. I want to show my students. Enter the hostname of your router. Enter router is okay. Your hostname, enter here. The enable secret is a password used to protect access to your privileged exec and configuration modes. This password, after entered, becomes encrypted in the configuration as I showed you. So enter the password, same which we have gone through. The enable password is used when you do not specify an enable secret password with some older software versions and some boot images. So it should be changed password. Like I enter the same one, it will say that please change this password from the secret password. Okay, now it is done. Okay, for your virtual terminal password, wanna protect your virtual. I want to, I like to, I love to. Configure SNMP network. No. Okay, almost done. It is asking me interface used to connect to the management network. Okay, it has only one interface, so let's configure this interface. Also, please enter the whole interface Ethernet 0/0. Okay, configure IP address on this interface. Yes, IP address for this interface 10.10.10.1 and subnet mask. I am using class C subnet mask, not A. We have gone through all such subnetting in very detail in our previous visuals. Enter. Okay, now it is giving me three options. Go to your IS command prompt without saving these configurations, return back to the setup without saving this configuration, and save this configuration to NVRAM and exit. 2 is better option, and my settings, my initial configurations are saved. So this is another way to save your initial configurations apart from that I showed you in our previous visuals. So although we've completed all such things, now it will, we have almost done with our basic security. Now enter your password. Okay, now it does not ask me, it didn't ask me about your console configuration saving. So you can go to your console line and configure password for login. Well, almost done. We are almost done, but there is another thing. You can protect your virtual lines by using access control list. Well, by using the access control, we have not discussed access control list yet, but I'm showing you such configurations, and I will show you in later visuals while discussing access control list also. But let me show you. We are configuring an IP address so that only that IP address or range of IP addresses are going to access on our virtual links. And if any other IP address is trying to access our virtual links, so they are not going to work. Let me go to configuration, global configuration mode here. Now access dash list 1, it is standard access list. So enter your configurations here. I am permitting sorry, I have to mention space. I am permitting IP address this one 192.168.0.1.1. I am permitting this IP address only. So press enter. It is done. Now I have to go to my line VTY 0 to 4. Okay, now here I am going to apply that access control list in such style, access dash class, and the number of access control is one. We're going to discuss access control list on later visual while discussing in mode, in style. Okay, it is done. Okay, now let me save my configurations. Okay, now we are almost done. Well, do not confuse regarding access controller. If you do not understand here, just close it down. I'm going to discuss access controllers while discussing access controller, but I think it should be mentioned that we can secure our virtual line in such a way also. So let me go to my switch and try to telnet here. Okay, I am on my switch. Now let's go to my router. By telnetting, it is 10.10.10.1. This is the IP address of my router. Enter. You can see the connection is refused by remote host because remote host allowed only single IP address, that is 192.168.1.1. Okay, we are almost done. I'm going to finish this visual, this basic security visual. Okay, we have discussed initial basic security and initial configuration setup also, which is offered by the router, telnetting functions also, things like that. Well, with this I'm concluding this visuals. If you feel any problem, just replay these visuals and be prepared for upcoming visuals. Thank you.